What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Bring the Juice Colts podcast. Guys, this one's a little bit weird because I personally would not believe that this is an actual story, but we've seen a lot of what the Indianapolis Colts fan base has been saying about this move, potential move, and things are going crazy for the Indianapolis Colts. So here we are. We're going to attempt to identify this move and if this is an actual thing. So a lot of people have been saying that the Indianapolis Colts would potentially be a team that could pursue Lamar Jackson in the free agent market. Obviously, they'd have to trade for him, but with today being the official start to free agency to the new year, he now has the ability to talk with other teams and try to work out a deal with somebody. So looking at this, one of the first people who has brought this up and mentioned the Colts specifically is this person by the name of Evan Massey, who is apparently an insider for NBA Analysis Network and NFL Analysis Network. So again, this report is coming out and it is take with it as you wish. I don't know whether or not to believe this person. This person's got 23,000 followers on Twitter based in Indianapolis, apparently, and put out a report saying the Colts have given some thought to pursuing Lamar Jackson. They aren't completely sold on any QB in this draft class, and they are a team to monitor. So, again, take with it as you wish for Indianapolis being a legitimate contender to wanting to bring in Lamar Jackson. But either way, that really isn't a whole relevant situation here. But what we need to talk about is it actually capable of happening? Like, is it legitimate? Is it actually a real thing? So I look at it from this perspective, guys. So clearly, when you talk about the Indianapolis Colts and what Lamar is currently looking for, right? So Lamar is wanting around 200 million guaranteed, if not more, going forward. And you would guess that you're probably going to end up paying Lamar probably around, 50 million a year, close to it. When it comes to a contract of his, that would be my guess. And if the Colts would actually be able to find a way to do that, because currently sitting at their cap situation right now, they are unable to make that move happen, if indeed that's where they wanted to go with it. But the one thing that kind of has some people making sense of this argument is due to how many moves the Indianapolis Colts have made in the result of making room for cap. They're not re-signing a few guys. They traded Stephon Gilmore. They released Matt Ryan. They're looking to potentially trade away some other big contract names in the building. So that gives people who are thinking Lamar Jackson could come to Indianapolis that kind of ammunition, right? Now, me personally, I sit back and I say, well, the reason that they're doing all of this is because of the fact that they know that they are not going to really contend this next year with a rookie quarterback or whatever they decide to do at quarterback right now, because the team is just not built for it right now. And they're looking to rebuild just with some of the guys. Like, they're trying to keep a few key core players around, but trying to build on this young staff that's still here, and with a new quarterback could really improve over the next few years. But of course, you had some situations where you had some bad contracts. You had some older guys that were weighing you down with some cap casualties there. So you had to make a move one way or another. So me looking at it, I just saw it as a potential. It's like a slight rebuild in certain areas. You're trying to clear up cap to allow yourself to make one or two big moves to be able to help your soon to be quarterback that's coming in. I don't believe that there's a quarterback in this that's drastic above everyone else from the Colts' eyes, but taking on the responsibility of a young rookie quarterback versus a Lamar Jackson in the long run could potentially be better. Like Lamar, from the short term, Lamar checks almost every box, and Lamar would instantly make this team a playoff threat and a team that could, contend with some of the better teams in the league. But again, you're looking at it from the perspective of they need to maybe try to restart this program rather than playing on the coattails of uh other quarterbacks, right? We've been on this quarterback carousel for a while, but of course, when it comes to Lamar, he is a completely different player. So, from that perspective, if the Indianapolis Colts wanted to do it, they could. It would just make it very difficult for Indianapolis to sign a lot more people going forward. The Indianapolis Colts would have no chance to really sign anyone else. They'd have to release more guys to make room for Lamar Jackson. So that makes it difficult to deal with this right now. The only other thing is if you're trading for Lamar, see, you have 2 firsts and potentially more if you're the Indianapolis Colts, but the glaring issues that you still have with your team. You traded away your best corner. You clearly need another cornerback. You still need the quarterback. You still need help at right guard. You need to work on some depth in some other places now. There's the Colts absolutely could throw in a package that says, instead of rebuilding over these next 2 or 3 years, we could legitimately go and just absolutely demolish expectation, bring Lamar in probably for 4 or 5 years. That would work. But I don't think that Lamar's long-term health is going to give the Colts a lot of optimism right now. A lot of teams have been having that concern with Lamar Jackson over these last few weeks, and it's not gotten any better for anyone. And Lamar's got that hanging over his head. And I just don't see it to the point where Indianapolis is saying we have to give away at least 2 firsts. You got to throw away all the rest of your cap. And on top of it, you have to question on whether or not he's going to be the same player in 5 years. Right. And, like we said, this team is not built right now to win at the highest level. It's not there yet. And that's the problem with trying to bring in Lamar. Lamar would make this team a playoff team, but the problem is then you're stuck with all the cap problems that you have. You can't get a few big name draft picks that you want, and then a few other things that go into it. So it'd be hard because then the Colts would just be stalemating themselves. That's where they would be at if they decided to go with Lamar Jackson. So in the end, I don't think Lamar is a legitimate thing. I think that a lot of Colts fans really wish that it would be. But I think from a financial standpoint, a draft capital standpoint, and a longevity standpoint, the Indianapolis Colts just aren't in a great position to do anything with it right now. I think there's a lot of different teams that are more well built to have Lamar Jackson in there right now than us. Even though, would be deadly to see Lamar Jackson, running with Jonathan Taylor in the backfield, right? You got to also think about that, just what the skill level he provides. If he were to stay healthy for about 5 years and play at the level that he is, then, you got a 5-year window. You have a 4 or 5 year window. And I don't know whether or not the Colts would be able to handle that with Lamar Jackson bringing what he is, having to trade away what you're trading away, and everything else going into consideration because Lamar's not getting any younger and he's probably not going to get a lot healthier. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. Like I said, Colts Nation has been going crazy about this topic over the last basically ever since the Lamar stuff started happening last week. So I'm curious to see what you guys think in regards to this. Do you want the Colts to throw their hat in at Lamar, bet their immediate future on Lamar, or should we just end up going with something else and making it a little bit more of a smaller rebuild when it comes to building around a new franchise quarterback? But that's going to do it for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, go Colts.